Thank you very much, Gawk. Now, time for today's guest. He played Jason Grimshaw for 16 years, son, of course, to our Sue's character, Eileen in Coy. Look at that picture. Oh, my goodness. He now, of course, has swapped his builder's boots for a pair of skates, although Jason's hard hat might have come in pretty handy over the last few weeks. No, it's
not expect that. That was absolutely brilliant.
The performance itself, you lived it. It was mesmerising.
Performances like this that allow you to have the brilliant performances later on.
This is just another moment I get to listen to my dad and perform for him. That's why I'm easy.
The skating was so much stronger, such a redemptive performance. Bravo.
Please welcome Ryan Thomas.
No wet kisses, no wet kisses. All right. Love you. You're all right.
See you back. Oh, welcome.
How are you? Oh, this is lovely. I believe this show's been going like over 20 years, and it's the first time I've ever been on the show.
Really?
Took you long enough to get me on, didn't it?
Oh, my God. Well, you are very welcome.
I'm honoured.
Oh, it's lovely to see you around.
I'm with me mum.
I'm just going to say, you both
Get a word
in. You were both genuinely really emotional earlier, having a bit of a hug in there, weren't you?
Oh, we were.
This is my childhood, and this was my first ever job at 16 years old. And I remember it like yesterday. It was Christmas Day. It went out, and I said to, I think it was Janice Battersby, I said, "Is me mum in?" And there she was, and then the rest is history, 16 years later.
16 years, that's such
Crazy.
a long stint. And she said you grow up together, you
She
live
told
your
me
life.
off many times. Oh, don't you worry, I was 16, I've been in trouble many a times with Sue. And Eileen.
I mean, exactly, there's the memories and the
That's
evidence,
it.
indeed, of this young boy. And you remember those days quite clearly as well, obviously, Sue. It was...
Oh, yeah, I do remember him coming in. I mean, and he was always gorgeous. But, yeah, he did get up to some things that we had to have little words about etiquette in studio and how we behave ourselves and how we keep our heads down and serve our apprenticeship. But we got there.
We did get there. Do you know what? It's so nice because when you're a young boy at that age, you need a role model. You need somebody to sort of direct you and give you the reassurance that, you know, you're doing things correctly. And I couldn't have asked for anyone more perfect. She was a mother on and off set.
No.
Very, very lucky.
I can so imagine.
Yeah, and a very talented actress, the best.
She's the best. We feel very lucky to have her with us at the minute.
Yeah, me too.
I'll buy him a scratch card. You better share it.
Yeah, exactly. So dancing on ice, my gosh, Ryan, I mean, are there any muscles not aching at this point? It's so intense, isn't it? And out of all of the shows, I've always said it, the most dangerous for me.
I just said to my agent before, I said, what have I signed up for here? I find it really, really tough. Mentally, physically, it's so much hard work goes into it behind the scenes up into the live show. And as you've seen, you know, I've fallen, you know, got back up, and I think that's part of the journey. I think that's, you know, it's part of the process, and it can't get any worse for me. I'll give you enough time, and yeah, I mean,
I think still get back up again.
Exactly.
I got up, yeah. I mean, I wanted the ground to swallow me up at the time, but you have no choice. The show goes on, and then we get up, and then I get to perform to my dad's song, which was, you know, a real honour. Who gets the chance to do something like that on live television?
Absolutely.
That must have been really emotional, you know.
Yeah, it was. At the time, you didn't get to think about it while you're doing your training. It was only when it finished that I actually realised how important it was. And, you know, and my dad was a massive part of my life. And I've listened to this song as a kid growing up. I've watched him perform it. and then to perform it for him, wow, it's a real honour.
Yeah, it was quite a moment. And something like this does become very much a family affair because the family have to keep on going when you're training. It's all consuming for everyone. But it was your daughter, Scarlett, that said to you before you even got the call, I want you to do this show. It's sort of, she kind of called it on, didn't she?
It was so weird how
Don't she like you?
I said to her, don't ever ask me to do anything else again, Scarlett. But it's so weird how it manifested, because it was only a week before she just randomly rang me. And normally, you know, it's like with these young kids, they go, Dad, have you got any money? Dad, can I have my friend come round? And this time it was like, what do you want? And she went, I want you to do Dancing on Ice. I was like, oh, that's really nice of you, Scarlett, but I've not been, you know, I've not had the phone call, no one's asked me to do it, but I'll keep it in mind. And a week later, I got a call saying, would I like to do the show? And
She put it out to the universe.
she put it out, and I was like, oh, I've got to do it now. And
I'm quite amazed because I know from other members of Corrie who've done it that you have to rehearse, and rehearsals often happen quite early in the day, early in the morning. And there's something that I know about Ryan. But first thing in the morning, he is vile.
Yeah, don't speak to me first thing in the morning.
Honestly, you would not believe it is like Jekyll and Hyde.
Are you a coffee before conversation kind of guy?
100%.
It's lunch before.
Sue knows everything about me, unfortunately.
And tell us about Scarlett. She's following in your footsteps now, isn't
Oh, do you know, it's so amazing. It organically happened with Adam. You know, I remember him being a young, you know, boy, and he was performing a little bit. And I said, you know what, let's pay for a few drama lessons. And before you know it, he's going for auditions, and then he's on TV. And then, you know, Scarlett was doing a little bit of performing for us at home like we used to do. And then they're just all on the television. And I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, it's just in the blood. And as a father, I'm beyond proud. Like, you know, what an amazing feeling to see your little brother, your nephew is on it as well. There he is, and my daughter. It's
Do you give
it's
her
beyond,
advice?
It's what dreams
then?
are made of.
Do you give her sort of
No, she gives me advice. I'm no good. She's better than me.
So, what do you think? Do you think your youngest, Roman and Lila? What do you think they'll follow in the family footsteps?
I mean, Roman, he's got it in there. Yeah, he's a little bit of a showman. But you've got to let them do what they want to do. Right. It's not forced upon them in the house. It just seems to happen naturally, and I want them to... I think Lucy wants them to be a lawyer or a doctor. I don't want to get in the performing arts game. It's tough, isn't it? Yeah. You know, rejection as well. It's tough, this game. Of course
it is. Let them find their way.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, very briefly, this weekend, what have you got in store?
Well, I remember I saw a clip before about... There was a scene of me doing... Mr. Gay Weatherfield it was back then. And he was in a... Yeah, is there a shot somewhere?
No, do you know what it is? Because we have to go. And
we've got to go?
Yeah,
is that it?
You've kept it a big secret, exactly.
Can I come back next week?
Of course you can, Ryan Thomas, everybody.